Welcome to the Peak Performance Podcast, your guide to optimizing your life one health tip at a time. This podcast is designed to entertain and inform, not to provide medical or health advice. Always consult your doctor when it comes to your personal health or before you make any changes to your diet, exercise, or lifestyle.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the LongevaPod. We're trying it out. That's the official one.
I like it so far.
Today, we're going to dive into, I guess it's kind of medical, kind of not medical, but it's basically...
It's business.
Business, yeah. So it's why a business person needs what I call, in my vernacular as a business person, an artist, and why an artist, or a physician in his vernacular, needs a business person. So... you want to start us out?
Yeah, the simple answer is I can barely log into my computer, and today they showed me the calendar on my phone.
There you go. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's hilarious because I think Doc's told me like 7 times. He's like, I have no idea what you do every day.
No clue. He just does things and like, I don't know.
It's probably a good thing.
Yeah. It's great. I go home at 5. I don't really have much to think about.
Yeah, I do not go home at 5. But the reason I say artist, right, is because in the business world, if you look at business people, I view business people as more of a commodity. Like, there's a lot of business people out there.
Sure.
Every Chad can have a business degree and go out and say they know something about business.
That's fair.
What they do not have is an actual marketable set of skills.
Yes.
Right? I don't have a license. I can't help heal anybody. I can't treat anybody.
Can you paint a picture?
I cannot even paint a picture. Because I have this set of skills that is supporting. I help build structure and systems and processes, administration. I need someone who can actually provide a skill set at which I can help them utilize their skill set and grow and expound it to a larger array of people. So that's how I view business people, which is probably somewhat controversial because business people have egos and they think business is business, and just because I know some business stuff, I'm amazing.
Fair.
But I'm of the view of that business people are a supportive part of creators.
Yeah, someone has to have an idea and someone has to actually make it happen. Mm-hmm. Because the Longevity Center would not exist without you.
But it wouldn't exist without you.
That's what makes the partnership.
That's what it works.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, doctors are the best example, right? Doctors are just like artists. Like, how many doctors do you know that can actively market themselves in a compliant fashion to a large amount of people and successfully get the word out?
I haven't met one yet. I've met a lot. Haven't met one yet.
Yeah. How many marketers can inject someone's knee and help regenerate it?
Even less.
Negative 12. Most marketers can't even market. just to be level with you. But it's really the combination. Mm-hmm. So, like, on a day-to-day basis, I do a little bit of literally everything. Yeah. So I do some compliance, I do some marketing, I do some finances, I talk to our CPA. Shout out to Ricky if you're listening to this.
He doesn't.
He doesn't listen to the podcast. Maybe he will. I don't know. But when I walk through the clinics, I walk through with the eyes of a customer service deliverance. Mm-hmm. So, like, what are the things that we can do that optimize how the patient experience is lived out? How can we optimize the flow, the efficiency? Would having a second iPad speed up the check-in and make people happier to get back to the room so they can receive their treatment?
We talked about a second iPad for like 6 months before we were just like, just go buy an iPad.
Just go buy an iPad.
We can do that?
Like, whoa, we can have a second iPad? Wow. So, like, that's how I see things. And then the counterpart to that is like how you see things. Like, what is the best product for a knee injection? Yeah. Like, that's where, like, I'm not the artist.
Well, and I think that's where the problem comes. If you have business people hiring doctors to run, they're going to penny pinch. And they're like, well, you like those needles, but they're 10 cents more than these other needles. Use the cheaper ones, even though the cheaper ones are harder to use. And so you get worse results.
That's actually a great point. Because if you have the business people running everything with the ownership of the clinic, they're going to drive the bottom line.
Yep.
They're not going to drive the patient care. Mm-hmm. And that's a big differentiator. I mean, this is what the hospital networks end up turning into sometimes. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. There's a time and place for hospital-based medicine. Mm-hmm. But the focus on the bottom line is not what it's about.
No. And so, like, when private equity goes and buys out longevity centers, it's, you know, the patient satisfaction goes way down because you become a conveyor belt place. Oh, here's a menu of what we offer. You just pick what you want. You guys want to see me make Kyle twitch? Oh, Kyle, gosh. I have a new idea.
Oh, gosh. See, he does this to me. And he's like, hey, can you do X? And it's just a text. It's like one sentence. And that one sentence is like 28 hours of work for me. And I'm like, ah!
But that's the thing. It's like I have these ideas and I have no idea how to make them happen. I'm like, this would be a good idea if it existed. And about 80% of the time they work.
Yeah.
But like he needs to be the one to actually make it happen.
Yeah. I'd love to make it happen faster. Sometimes you're like, hey, I have this idea. Let's do this. I'm like, okay. And then 6 months later it rolls out.
So if we had like 7 of you and 7 of Carly and 7 of Liz, we'd be set.
There you go. Game over. Just more people.
Yep. But that's the other thing we haven't touched on. There's a you, there's a me, but then there's also your supporting staff. We could be the best in the world. If our staff didn't actually help us, produce the business, it wouldn't work. Carly, our lead patient coordinator, she answers the phones. She gets complimented more than any other staff member we have. So many patients will come in for their initial appointment and be like, just so you know, the only reason I'm here, I don't care about your website. I don't know you. I'm here because Carly talked to me on the phone.
Well, and that's a big point too. The focus of the business not being on exclusively the physician and your name is massive. Because if it is only your name, the clinics can only help as much people as you can see.
Yep.
And then it's a limiting factor. I mean, we're trying to help millions, not 407.
Yes. No, we're trying to take Longevity Center national. The whole idea is the price structure. We figured out a way to create balance to the entire functional, integrative, regenerative, whatever you want to call it, field. And, those people gouging at the top just because they can, because people don't know any better. And so we're trying to balance that.
Yeah. So another great story is the other day I called Doc and I was like, hey, what's your opinion on, it was a very specific technical SEO question about like the website. And he was like, let me ask you this. What's your opinion on what gauge needle I should use to treat carpal tunnel? And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, same thing here. Go figure it out. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And go figure it out to me in that moment was a blessing because I knew I was working with a partner who was giving me the rein to do what I need to do to get things done.
Yep. Don't ask me things I have no idea about. You won't get an answer.
Just like, I don't know. I'm like, yeah.
Listen, I'm one of those people, I know when I don't know. I'm not going to make up an answer just to sound smart because then we're just wasting time spinning in circles.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Coach Kyle and Dr. K.
We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining us
on the LongevaPod.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Peak Performance Podcast, your #1 resource for today's top health hacks and facts. You can follow us on Instagram at the Peak Performance Pod or on X at PerformPod. You can also check out our website and weekly blogs at peakperformancepodcast.online. Again, thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe. We put out a new podcast every Thursday. The content of this podcast is provided for informational purposes only and is not intended for the purposes of diagnosing, treating, curing, or preventing any disease. Before using any products referenced on the podcast, consult with your healthcare provider. Carefully read all labels and heed all directions and cautions that accompany the product. Information found or received through the podcast should not be used in place of a consultation or advice from a healthcare provider. If you suspect you have a medical problem or should you have any healthcare questions, please promptly call or see your healthcare provider. This podcast, including Coach Kyle, Dr. K, and producers, disclaim responsibility for any possible adverse effects from the use of the information contained herein. Opinions of guests are their own, and this podcast does not endorse or accept responsibility for statements made by guests. This podcast does not make any representations or warranties about guest qualifications or credibility. This podcast may contain endorsements and advertisements for products or services. Individuals on this podcast may have a direct or indirect financial interest in products or services referred to herein.